Welcome everyone to Legion Gaming. I'm your host Donnie, and I'm joined by my co-host Deuce.
Hello everyone.
Deuce, how are you today?
I am still hot.
Yes, a little bit of a warm day, but not too bad though. It could be way worse. I've lived in scorcher areas before.
Oh yeah, I haven't lived like you have in the triple digits.
Yeah, in an upstairs 1-bedroom apartment when it's 110 outside or 102 outside.
That's a perfect excuse to just play games and not move.
Yeah, especially when we got a big old AC. Yeah. But we got a good reason to talk about games today because we're doing something a little bit different because, well, I guess we should get some history. We have a few episodes planned coming down the pipeline. We had some that were coming up, and then we had to kind of reorder the sort of scheduling. So this is sort of our midpoints, and it's perfectly appropriate since it's midway through the year that we're kind of going to go through the best games of 2025 so far, and this can include stuff that's brand new or stuff, retro stuff we played, of course.
It's sort of like what we do for the game of the year because we could have been playing some old classics or something like that. But this is I called it the State of the Union of our gaming.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Because, the episode before this would have been our great games that didn't click kind of episode that we ran. And then a few episodes coming up, we have Twisted Metal. It's going to be a fun one with my brother. We're going to be covering the entire series there. We're inviting Vito to do our top N64 games, which I think will be a fun one. So depending on when this releases, because this is kind of like our carryover bonus episode, you might hear Twisted Metal, you might hear N64 games. Yeah. You'll probably hear Mario Kart too.
Yeah.
So we have a few things fun, and then we're also going to do, at some points, sort of what am I saying here? Most disappointing games, which will kind of cover games that were hyped.
Disappointments.
Yeah, the best disappointments, which there are some. I have some guilty pleasures in there. But for this episode, it's kind of a different flavor for us because we're changing things up. And this will be more of like a review of the year because, like Ducey said, we do a game of the year thing towards the end of the year. And this is a pretty good one because this has been a pretty stacked year as it is. Just with new releases as just in June already.
So much more to come too. Like I'm looking forward to talking about what we've played, but also what I've been seeing recently on all the game reveals and things like that.
Yeah, so this is prime time, like Summer Game Fest. There's I think Game Awards in September. I think that's when it starts. And there's always like a State of Play, Nintendo Direct. It's always exciting times. Like I say it every year, but it's like, every year there's just a ton of great games coming out, which is funny because I always go back to like people on the internet or, things I see online, like videos and like, oh, gaming. That's like, what are you playing?
Yeah.
Are you only playing Call of Duty and the 2K games and Madden?
Exactly.
Because what are you playing to say that there's not any good games? Because I have a giant list of my own and you've got quite a bit on yours. And this is just stuff in this year. So I think this will be a great episode, a little bit more positive than some of the gloom and doom that the internet has. And plus it'll be
some of the gloom and doom we've had.
We've had at times. Yeah, that too. But, it'll be something different. So I think it'll be a really fun episode.
Yep.
So Ducey, where would you like to start with this? What games have you been playing lately, or what do you say would be some of the hallmarks of the year so far?
So what I've been playing, not just lately, but this year, as we've heard on our past episodes, I started or continued into this. I can't remember my January too well, but
to be fair, we're in June. I can remember what happened 2 weeks ago.
That's also
let
true.
Alone 6-7 months ago.
Where the heck did May go?
Yeah, ridiculous. And they had 31 days too.
But at some point early on in the year, I was playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Really enjoyed that. Have not finished it yet. I'm still in Egypt from whenever I last talked about it. But I do want to get back into that because I think we saw recently that there's DLC for it.
Yeah, it's something like the Great Giants. I think it's out in September.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. The Great Giants or something about the Giants. I don't know what it is. But it was alluded to, I think, with one of the Easter eggs in the game where if you collect all the artifacts, I think it alludes to that story DLC.
Oh, okay.
And that's why,
was not anywhere near that.
I'm always so shocked that you hadn't finished it because, granted, I kind of rushed to it because I had Game Pass. So I was like, I just got to finish this before the subscription ends.
Yeah.
And also I hit that game-breaking glitch that I hit. So I was like, I really got to finish this because I don't want to do this all over again. But I was very shocked that you haven't finished it so far.
Something happened where
I think probably just a new game came out, which is what happens to both of us.
Mostly, yeah. I think I also went away for a little bit or something, and I went away from my Xbox, and then when I came back, I was like, oh, there's also this other new game I want to try, and then I tried that and got sidetracked.
One of the other ones I want to talk about, at least on my list, is Sonic. I guess it's X Shadow. I don't know if it's Cross Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
The X thing's always weird.
Yeah.
But I'll call it Sonic X Shadow Generations, which is a bit of a remaster of Sonic Generations, but they added an entire campaign for Shadow, who's Shadow Hedgehog, who's like the I guess he's Keanu Reeves in the new one, technically.
Oh yeah.
So this was really fun because I had beaten Generations back on the 360, and it's actually, even the original one's worth playing on the Xbox Series X because it has the FPS boost, so it runs at 60 frames a second, so it looks great. But the remaster is even better. I think you can find it for like $20-$30 now, and the Shadow campaigns, which is what I finished on this one, because I finished quite a bit of games this year. I forgot what my count was, right? I think it was like
18,
18, something like that. So that's an all-time record for me. Like 6 months, I finished some pretty big games, and granted, this was a smaller one, but it's definitely a highlight. It was actually really fun that they made it kind of like an open world game, and you have like these hub levels, like it's a hub, and then you can go into each individual level, and there's a bunch of collectibles, and they've definitely taken advantage of the newer hardware because Sonic Generations is sort of the design and the levels are built around 360 PS3 hardware, whereas Shadow is a little bit more, expensive because they can do so much more. So levels get really crazy. Like the last boss is really cool. I think it's worth playing. I hope more people play it, but that was definitely an early stand-up for me. I think that came out like in February or something like that.
Yeah, I recently was thinking about it again. I think because of the Switch 2, I feel like that'd be a good handheld game.
Oh yeah, they did make a version for that, and it runs a lot better than the original one.
Oh, nice.
Switch 1, I should say. Yeah.
I just realized while I was looking at my list what stopped me from Indiana Jones, and it is because I got sick. And then when I got sick, I wanted to play something very mellow.
I remember.
And that's when I got into Stardew Valley for years.
Well, it felt like years because I'm sure that one's going to be on your game of the year list because of what'd you put, like 100 something hours in that?
Just a little over 100 something. Yeah, I'm into year 3 of the game time and the game world, and I just that was one. On our last episode we were talking about games that weren't clicking, and it wasn't clicking for the longest time. And then on this like third restart, all of a sudden I just like dove straight into it and couldn't stop.
Yeah, I wish that hooked me as much because I played that. I think I got it shortly after it came out on the Switch 1 or something like that. I don't remember. And it's always like with these like Animal Crossing, Cult of the Lamb, Stardew Valley. It's always like I'm really into it for a little bit, and then my attention gets taken away, or I get sort of the monotony of the tasks get to me.
Yeah,
where I'm like, oh god, like. This almost feels too much like work.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, like you just mentioned, has a lot of repetitive factors to it. And I don't know, sometimes I get dissuaded by those, and sometimes they hook me. And for some reason in Stardew, I got really hooked. And I think I realized at some point that, like, there's not a clock that you're really fighting against. Like, you do have to do certain things within certain times of the year. You have 4 different months, which are just the 4 seasons. And certain things happen at certain times, but I was just like, instead of trying to do everything all at once, I was like, oh wait, another year is coming. I will just do it then if I miss it this time. And I really got into that, and I was just wake up in the day, do what I needed to do. If all of a sudden the time was late, I'm like, oh well, let me start over again tomorrow. Yeah. It wasn't like this dread of, oh no, I didn't do that thing I was planning on.
Yeah, like real life. Right? Yeah. Like, oh geez, I want to get as much done as I can before I have to start working in 12 hours.
Like I said, it helped that I think this time what hooked me was that I was so sick that I was just laid up and I didn't have to worry about outside world stuff because nobody expected me to be functioning.
Yeah, you're just sort of like a hermit. I mean, like I am most of the time. Yeah. As if you're just like bundled up and, kind of chill out, which... Those games are great for that, where it's just you don't have too much stress playing them. It's very just low-key and go at your own pace. So I do appreciate those. I just wish I could dedicate more time to them because I do enjoy them when I play them. It's just I drop out of them like anything else.
And I remember trying to play indie one time one day while I was sick, where I thought I was getting better, but like my brain was not wrapping around it, and I was like, get it. Yeah. I was like, this is too much going on in my eyeballs right now. Plus, then all of a sudden I started to like doze off. Probably because of the cold medicine.
There's times where I do the same, where I really feel like I want to finish the game that I've been playing, and then you'll play it, whether it's, you just don't feel right or whatever. I'm like, I just don't feel like this isn't what my vibe is right at this time. I'll go to Street Fighter or something. Yeah. Like we're talking those comfort games, where it's like, you might not go to something that you really want to finish. Just go to something that's a little bit more familiar, a little bit low stress. Not that you'd call Street Fighter low stress.
No, but that brings up, while I was sick, I also went back to Super Metroid because that is chicken soup for me.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I wish I could get through that as quick as you did, but that one, I always go through Dread. That's like my parallel to yours, which is ironic because you're the biggest fan of Dread.
Yeah.
I think I finished Zero Mission, Fusion, and Dread while you finished probably Metroid a few times, I would say. Super Metroid.
Oh, yeah.
Times. Yeah. One game I really enjoyed this year so far was Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. This was just a stealth drop or shadow drop, I guess that they call it, where no one really expected Ninja Gaiden to resurface for a while. And it turns out they have 3 games this year, which blows my freaking mind. So
3?
There's 3 coming out. So there's Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which came out.
Oh, okay, right.
There's the 2D one, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, that's
and then
in July. And then Ninja Gaiden 4, which is later this year. So for someone like me who absolutely loves these crazy Twitch action games, it's just pure bliss. And Ninja Gaiden 2 Black was pure bliss. It's a remaster. I wouldn't call it a remake of the original, but they definitely brought back things that were taken out of like the newer versions. Like there was Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma. That was like on PS3, I think it was, and 360, which were sort of like enhanced versions, but there was some compromises. Like they took out some of this dismembering and reduced some of the blood effects, probably for performance or something. But Ninja Gaiden 2 Black brings all that back. It's also remastered in Unreal Engine 5, so it looks really amazing. Like there's some really amazing set pieces throughout the game. It's still rooted in 2008 though, because like some of the camera bits are wonky, some of the controls might be twitchy. You have to get used to them if you're not used to them.
That's what I've heard. I saw some people playing it on YouTube because they either played it back in the day or it's the first time ever, and I don't think they were used to the fact that it was still going to be rooted back then.
It takes some getting used to, and there are some camera options which are helpful. Like it doesn't always snap, or sometimes like the auto camera will, if you're in a tight space, it'll try to it'll kind of wig out trying to get to a proper view, and you could disable that, So there are options that help it and mitigate it. But really, again, I love these type of games so much, and this was a really breezy playthrough, which is funny to say because usually Ninja Gaiden's pretty black, and I feel like the difficulty here is tuned pretty fairly. Like even the bosses weren't that troublesome. Like I had to retry on a few, but none were like 15 times over. I'm like, I was so close. That was easier than I thought.
None were the first boss from Ninja Gaiden 1.
No, they were not. I forgot his name was like Murad or something. Yeah, like that. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, this was definitely a highlight early in the year for me because also it was just unexpected, and then even more so the fact that they've announced 2 more games that I can look forward to. So that one I definitely recommend if you have a PS5. It's also on Xbox and Game Pass, and it's also on PC.
My next one that I really enjoyed getting into, and once again have not finished, was a Christmas gift to me from my wife, and it was Mario and Luigi Brothership.
I've been really wanting to get to that one. It's just another RPG that it's going to take time.
And I'm really starting to lean more towards getting back into it because I've been watching some playthroughs on YouTube of Mario RPG and also this ROM hack Luigi RPG. So yeah, it's really given me the itch for a Mario type RPG, and I don't know if I want to get into Brothership or go back to Paper Mario, one of the two, or both.
Did you get the remake, Thousand Year Door?
No,
or are you talking about the Origami King? Or you mean the N64
the
one?
N64
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because I think it's on the Switch app, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've played through a little bit of that too as well, and that I got my attention taken away from that as well. Like, I don't know what I keep doing, but I want to try everything all at once.
I know. Well, I've said before, it's just adulting is all it is.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about before we record, like how it's just you get off work, you have all your nightly duties to do, whether it's unwinding or dinner and all that crap, and then you're tired at the end of the day, and you have like this 40-hour RPG that you're trying to get through, but you're also looking at like Stardew Valley or somewhere. It's like, well, I could just chill out for a couple hours and play this. You know, it's a little bit low stress, and then you're like, wow, I haven't finished anything this year.
Exactly. Like you mentioned, I've got 18 finishes, and I'm like, I've got 2.
Yeah,
and we're 6 months in.
To be fair, like. I guess I have some big beefy games I finished on here too that I'll get to, but most of them, well, I don't know. I guess they'll have been pretty long.
I don't even have old games. Like I played Super Metroid, I didn't beat it.
Yeah.
I've gone back, I played some Yoshi's Island, I didn't beat that. Played some old Mega Man, didn't beat those.
I did put Streets of Rage 2 on here as something I tracked that I finished because we did play that through the episode, but like all the games that I put on here on my list, like I was kind of tracking the older stuff I played, but what I kind of did is I put stuff that I definitely never played for like brand new 2025, and then some stuff I may have not played back in the day, like Warrior Land 4 and whatnot, or what's another one that was on here? Like, I don't know. I guess that's probably one of the more recent examples. So I include stuff that like I really hadn't played before, but really like my list is mostly new stuff. So I've been finishing like a lot of newer games, which is unusual for me for the most part, I'd say. Let's see. The next one I'll talk about on my list. This one's a little bit more recent for me. Like, I don't know if I'll put this on my top 10 for the year because, we're only halfway through. But this one I definitely enjoyed more than I thought I would. And it's Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, yes.
On PS5, and this is of course available on Xbox and PC. I don't know what this was like at launch, because I know people had some issues with like the stealth. I think there was like a fail state where if you got caught, like you just failed a mission or something like that, and they changed that. They added, like in one of the most recent updates, you can now holster your third weapon. Like you could pick up weapons from enemies before the update, and it was just something you could have, and they would drop it if you switch your main weapon,
or if you ran out of ammo. Chuck it.
Yeah, we just kind of chuck it. It was very disposable, but now you can kind of keep it on your person, which helps a lot because there's certain sections that are really hairy with enemies.
Yeah,
but I really enjoy this because the story is pretty great. It's in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. There's some really cool Easter eggs you find just kind of traversing through the different planets. Like I found one instance where I was in Jabba's, I don't know if it was his palace or what it was, but you find Han Solo in the Carbonites.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was a really great reference. And there's also a scene that I happened upon where you're going through a vent shaft and like Boba Fett's talking to somebody. I don't know if it's sort of alluding to when he's setting up like a bounty or something like that. Like just pass by a vent shaft and you see him there. I was like, that's pretty cool. So what I liked about this story, the story's kind of straightforward. It's really just, you play as a smuggler named Kay Vess, and she's basically setting up a heist, this grand heist to rob, I think it's a casino or something like that. It's Jabba's casino, something like that, right?
No, it's this guy on the casino planet, and he's supposed to be like this new crime lord that the other crime lords don't like.
There you go. Yeah. So it's set up, you're basically supposed to recruit ragtag kind of crew. Yeah. So you could all have these different sort of specializations to rob this place. And then you're helping this other guy who's, sort of the, I guess, not the benefactor, I guess we'll say the person running the operation who kind of hires you.
Yeah.
And, it does have some Star Wars-y twists towards the end, which I thought was really great. But the gameplay here was, once I settled in, because it's an open world game and there's a lot of open worldness about it. Like, it's really freaking vast. Like, I think there's probably 5 or 6 planets, different levels of openness. I'd say later on you get to some really open areas like, Kiva, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Akiva, yeah. Where it's just like this really crazy, lush jungle kind of area. You get to go through Tatooine, which was a real treat because that's the first time you got to see parts of Tatooine that you never would see before.
Yeah, like the brief time I was on it, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the movies finally.
Yeah. And, overall, very solid game. Like, I think I finished it in just under 30 hours, which I think is probably less time than you put in, because what I did is, like, I did a lot of the side stuff, and then I got to a point where I didn't want to go treasure hunting too much because it's just sometimes it was a little bit too cumbersome to find a path there. Mm-hmm. Like you'd find it on the map, and like I think you mentioned in one of our previous episodes where it's like you'll look for an area to get in there, and it turns out it's something that's way off in the middle of nowhere or some secret passageway to lead you there, and it's like I don't want to deal with that all the time. Like there's some treasures I'll go seek out, and some I'm like, all right, I don't want to deal with that.
My problem was I got to the Akiva, the forest planet, before I've even really gotten to Tatooine. And that place is the map is so like not helpful that like I saw the marker that I had to get to, and as I was going over there, the lands belonged to some of the groups that hate me.
Yeah, because there's a reputation system in here that's pretty not strict, but it's not so easy to be on everyone's good side. It's usually you're favoring one or the other, and you'll pay for it if you're not favored by another.
And it just so happens that usually these planets have like 2 different gangs, and this just so happened to have the one gang that hates me. Mm-hmm. And they had a large chunk of land that I had to get through. And then once I got through there, it turns out that wasn't even the path to get to the marker. Like there was a cliffside in front of me. I was like, crap, now I have to double back into the same like dangerous territory.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely one of my criticisms for this game is that it's an Ubisoft game. So therefore it suffers from what is rooted in basically most Ubisoft games nowadays, because it's really impressive that they've rendered these open worlds, because I was telling you, like, there's certain sections where you go into like an Imperial base and it's seamless, right? You're coming from this massive open world area and you're going through this really intricate Imperial base down to like going down these crazy shafts, like almost underground.
Yeah, multi-floors.
It looks absolutely incredible. Like I think about for me when I was a kid playing like the Phantom Menace on PS1 and what garbage that was. And I think now where it's like, it's just a seamless Star Wars world that you could just roam around and do whatever you want. That's my only criticism is like it's a little bit too big, which is a criticism I had with Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was another big game I played this year too. But otherwise, like once you kind of settle in with the fact that it's an Ubisoft game and that formula, it's a really awesome time. Like it sucks that some people kind of trash this and it has a reputation it does because it's Ubisoft.
Yeah.
It's a super solid game. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say 8.5, 9 out of 10. Like it's a solid 8 at the very least. I played much worse games, much worse open world games than what this gives you.
Yeah, whether I finish it or not this year, I will be putting it on the Game of the Year. You know, don't know if it's a top 10 or whatever, but I'll be mentioning it again because I didn't know what I was expecting. I knew it was going to be really large because it's Ubisoft, but once I got into it, I was like, oh wow, this is kind of what I've always wanted from a Star Wars game in the past.
It's great. It's a little bit different because you're not a badass Jedi, right? Which is fine. Like, it's great to play as a badass Jedi with powers, but I like that she's just a normal smuggler, and yeah, you could get destroyed if you're not careful because you're not going to take on an army of stormtroopers, you know?
It's also like a great idea for a show or a movie because it's basically Ocean's 11 but Star Wars.
Yeah, I could. If this was a series, I could totally see that fitting with the way they present it, and like even like how this story unfolds. Like, you're going to these different planets to seek out these people. My parallel, which is funny, you mentioned sort of like Ocean's 11. I was going to say it's like that movie Armageddon, where great, the totally different story. They're trying to blow up a freaking meteor, an asteroid comes.
But you got this like ragtag group that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, right. So that's kind of like my parallel, which makes no sense at all. But that's kind of what I thought of. It's like recruiting your crew, and then you go tackle this one main objective. But very solid. I got it for $25, and I'd say 2025, like perfect game for that price. I don't know if about 60 or above, but very solid for $20.
Yeah, I finally got it because it was on sale, and it was right after I was finishing Jedi Survivor, which I will go ahead and bring that up in this list. That
was my favorite. 2023, I think I put that in my top 10. Right?
Yeah. And I just finally got into this because I had played Fallen Order basically when you were playing Survivor, and I was just waiting for this one to hit some type of freebie, and it did. It finally came out to Game Pass and PS Plus, and got into it. And that one hooked me so much that I didn't play anything for weeks. It was nothing but this. I might have had like maybe Stardew on as the handheld game, but yeah, if I was playing a console, it was going to be Jedi Survivor, and I can't wait for probably the third in the trilogy.
I think they've got to do one. They haven't said anything about it, but I am definitely excited because between Outlaws and Jedi Survivor, like I would definitely pick Jedi Survivor, bar none, because
it's a Metroidvania.
It's a Metroidvania. Yeah. It's a lot more focused. Like there's open world, there's open areas, but they're not so vast, like.
And I think
it's just tighter.
The story even kind of sets up for like a third chapter, whatever that might be.
And I also like that it's a really good story. Like I like the twist at the end.
Yep.
It's really good. Like I'm very critical about Star Wars shows and movies because I'm just tired of how many there are. But the games have been just absolutely just amazing for me. I've been really enjoying them all.
The one problem I had with it when it came to stories and twists is that like it kind of did that thing that shows do after they've been on for a little bit, and then the start of a new season, there's like a new character, and you're like, why are they trying to make this guy or girl a thing? And then by the end, you're like, oh.
Yeah. It's rough because you always expect, again, it's just a trope of Star Wars. Like, okay, there has to be some sort of thing coming up here, some sort of twist.
Yeah, this is going too well for me.
Yeah. And, it's a good twist, but yeah, it is very calculated. Like, you can kind of see it as it unfolds kind of thing. But it is a good twist nonetheless.
Yeah.
One early favorite I had this year, and I mentioned it a few times in our episodes, was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. This is a sort of, I guess it's a spin-off sequel. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's related to the Yakuza series. It's technically Yakuza, I guess this would be Yakuza 8 in Japan. I think. 7 or 8. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But in the US, it's called Like a Dragon because it's sort of like a spin-off series. And I love this game because it knows it's a video game and it absolutely embraces it because it's got a really strong sort of melodramatic story. And like you're playing as Kasuga, who's he was in the first game, he came out of prison, he was a sort of reformed Yakuza. Second game starts off, he's working at a job placement agency to place other former Yakuza people to kind of like reform their lives. And this whole conspiracy unfolds where he gets fired from that job because he's found to be sort of assisting the Yakuza in certain ways that he's accused of. And then it also turns out that his mom that he thought was long dead is trying to communicate with him from Hawaii. So this sets up why you get to go to a totally different setting from Japan. I think it's Okinawa. But you do get to split time between Okinawa and Hawaii because there's two different parties with stories that happening in parallel that do intersect. And I put a lot of time in this. It was like 55 and a half hours, almost 60. And there's a ton of mini games to do. Like they're all really silly. Like there's one where you're just sort of like playing like a crazy taxi mini game where you're playing like a pizza delivery person on a bicycle, and you have to collect pizzas and food to deliver them to people, and your timer goes up, and you get a high score. And
it's like a Uber Eats or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's kind of like that. And then like there's definitely there's Sega arcades, like there's a couple fighting games, and I think Virtua Fighter's in this one, I forgot, but there's a handful of like Sega arcade games that you're playing in an arcade. There's like a claw machine game if you want to get into that. Like I always say, like, sometimes it's hard for me to get in these open world games with all these side activities, but this game embraces the fact that it's so silly that it just makes everything so much fun. And I was really surprised that I got through the entire game because it's a pretty beefy RPG. And I did like so much in this game, from the optional dungeons to grind to level up to increasing bonds with your party members, which they'll have their own stories, which are actually pretty fun and pretty great to listen to as it unfolds. And then that gives you more combat abilities. Like they'll help you throughout, like they'll actually add hits to your combo, or they'll get special abilities with them. The turn-based combat is a highlight for me. That's the biggest thing, is it breaks the monotony of turn-based combat where you're just sitting there kind of hitting X or A or whatever to kind of get through the button commands. Here it's like positioning matters. You have a little bit of more agency of where you can move and position your characters, which you can use other abilities because those have different areas of effects and different other effects. Like they might knock an enemy back into another one or something. So it has all these dynamics in the turn-based combat that really made it easy to stick to. And for me, I don't know if I'll play through this again. Like I think I probably would at some point, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely a fan of Like a Dragon games now, and I'm looking forward to the pirate one that's come out, which that's not, I don't think that's an RPG necessarily. I think that's more of like a beat 'em up with some pirate elements, which sounds awesome.
Kind of like classic Yakuza.
Yeah, kind of like classic Yakuza, yeah. So I did see that went down in price on GameFly, so I might pick it up. But I'm definitely invested in this series. So Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, it came out last year in 2024, but I picked it up on sale, and I had an amazing time with it. That was like one of my most favorite games right at the beginning of the year.
It's funny you mentioned the side quests and how they can get you extra stuff with your characters, and I realized that that's kind of another thing I would mark against Outlaws. Is like, I'm a big fan of side quests doing something, even if it's even if in a story like they just mention it, like NPCs mention, oh, you're that guy that did that thing, even though it was a side quest and I didn't have to be the guy that did that thing. Or in Mass Effect, if you do all the side quests, then at the big final battle, more of your people help you and survive and that sort of thing. I feel like in Outlaws, though, if you do a lot of the side quests, all you get are trinkets to add to your
and money,
speeder bike and stuff. So I'm actually feeling like I'm at this point where I've got the stuff that I want as my decorations, and I could just power through the rest of the main story because the side stuff doesn't get you XP. You don't level up in this game.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I would point out too, and that's a really fair criticism. I think, again, that's part of the Ubisoft formula, because I was doing the same thing. I was kind of doing cleanup in Outlaws. Like, we're going backwards, but it makes sense because this was a good point that I thought about too. But the side quests are really meaningless. There's a lot of side quests where the biggest perk you'll get is you might increase a reputation with a certain faction. Yeah. And even that system isn't that fleshed out. Like, the whole idea is like the factions you're more favorable towards, or who are more favorable towards you, might give you a discount in their stores. You won't get attacked when you pass their areas. Yeah. But the ones that have a bad reputation with you, like you'll get attacked. They might not sell stuff to you. That's really it. Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty skin deep, and that's about it. And then anything else beyond that for side quests, you just get money, and that's about it. Nothing else. Nothing related to your side characters. Once you sort of recruit them as part of the story, because it's a pretty linear story, that's basically it. There's no development beyond that. So I'd say that's definitely something fair where, the story is the story, and that's about it. You're not going to get anything additional about that. And even with the lore bits you find, it doesn't really add much color to what you're seeing and doing.
Yeah. Now, in a game I will bring going forward, it's Atomfall, which I started playing recently, and that one, the side quests are actually useful. Like, you once again, you don't get XP to really level up, but you do get you could potentially find a bunch of these notes and clues to approach other missions in a different way. And like I told you in one of our past episodes that I found the main hub of the game, this like secret underground base underneath the nuclear plant. And I was also on my way to that, finding all of these different notes that tell you various ways to get into that bunker. You're like, okay, if you're in this area, and every area has a different name, obviously. If you're in this area, you should go to this part of the map, and they mark it on the map for you. If you're in this area, you should try going into this part. If you're in this area, this one's actually well guarded, but here's the entrance just in case. Come to find out, you need to actually go to all of those different areas in the base. Like, it's not just a different way to get into a base that's all connected. The way the base works is there's different areas that are locked off from each other. So you do have to go in through this one side to power up this, but then you have to backtrack because you can't get to side 2 or side 3. You then have to go to the other part of the map that somebody told you about and go in through that way. And I was like, oh, thank God I did some of these side missions on accident, because now I am breezing through the parts where I have to go and find these other bunkers. And without that, I would have been like scrambling around, probably dying more than I have already.
Yeah, I always appreciate when games make side quests that are actually meaningful and not just kind of busy work that exists to give you money or perks or what have you, you know? And I'll go back to Cyberpunk, which we talked about in our other episode. But the side quests with that are meaningful because you really learn about the characters you're partnering with and their motivations, and they also have some sort of other conflicts going on that's parallel to yours and also parallel to the main story. Those are great because that encourages you to play through those side quests, where you get to a point where certain games where it's like you realize it's just like, all right, well, I'm ticking off a checkbox at this point. Like, there's nothing I'm really getting meaningful. Games like Prey and we'll go back to Deus Ex, stuff like that. Even like the newer Deus Ex games where you find like lore notes around, which might add more context to what you're doing and also give you hints about certain things you might know about, which Star Wars Outlaws kind of does that, where it's like you might find a data pad and says like, oh, you might find this here, but it's also you could find that on your own. Like it's not really that well hidden, you know.
The one thing I like about Outlaws is when you find a data pad that gives you a hint on the horse races.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I'm going immediately to a horse race and betting on the sure thing.
Yeah, I feel like those things though, it's like they exist, but they're not fully developed. Like it's kind of a cool perk once you see it once, and you're like, all right, well, you're only going to make like $150 anyway. Right? Yeah, that's the thing. One thing is like the rigged horse races. You might think you might be able to make big bank, but it's like you might get $150. Unless there's a high stakes one I didn't find. I don't know.
No, the most I got was like 300 and something.
Oh, see, that's not even worth it.
Yeah,
like, you're better off looting.
I've already got like thousands of chips.
Yeah. All right, another one I'll point out on my list here. It's a big co-op game. It's honestly one of the best co-op games I've ever played in my life, which says a lot because I've obviously played thousands of games over the last, 30 something years.
30 days.
30 days. That too. There you go, Deucey. It's a Split Fiction. This came out in March. This is purely co-op. This is by the same developers who did It Takes Two. I think it's Hazelight Studios. They did It Takes Two, No Way Out, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was one of the earliest ones, which you could tell there's definitely like inspirations for co-op in there. I mean, I think that was only single player. You controlled both people with one controller. If I recall, right?
I remember that. That was like very much a prototype.
Yeah, and No Way Out is sort of the prototype of Split Fiction. But Split Fiction is, it's got an interesting premise. The premise is like you're playing these two characters who, they're at this sort of, I guess we'll call it company, who the idea, it's sort of an allegory for AI, where it's like the idea is you have like your game ideas and then you're hooked up to this machine, which sort of creates the games you have in your head, like your sort of, I guess we'll call them fantasies, which really just is sort of a metaphor for like ingesting your ideas and spitting them out in something, right? But each sort of section is based on a game. So you have like a sci-fi section for one of the characters, and like, the split screen will be like a fantasy section for the other girl. And all these have this interplay between them where it's like you might find mini games that'll unlock certain things. Like there's one where I was playing like in a barnyard, where like I'm playing a pig that's farting around, and you collect like a perk or something like that. Each thing is sort of set up in a way where it's like it doesn't overstay its welcome, because really it's like just sort of these really ornate mini games, right? There's these sections where it's like one person might be manhandling a cannon or something, shooting down these flying cars, while others driving through and trying to avoid cars or something like that. So it definitely has the DNA of No Way Out, and It Takes Two. It's just blown out even more so. Like there's some really impressive effects in this game. It's pretty long. I think Vito and I finished it in like 12 hours, but it is just an absolutely stellar game, top to bottom. It's one of the best experiences you could play. And even better is that you only own one copy of the game. So if one person owns it, the other person could download like they call it a friend pass, and you can play through the entire game co-op. The only caveat is like you won't get trophies on your side if you don't own the game.
Yeah.
But some people don't care about that, which is totally fine. You can still experience the entire game for free. So that one, if you haven't played that out there, you should definitely check it out. I know it sucks that it's only 2 players. And there's no matchmaking, so you really need like an online buddy or a local buddy. But it's worth playing.
Sometimes I feel like that's easier to get than trying to gather 3 or 4 people together.
Well, it is.
Cough, switch to cough.
Yeah. And also on top of that, like you also have to, it's asking a lot if you're doing random matchmaking, like you're asking someone to commit to a full game for you.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot harder to do. It's a lot different than playing like a match or two, you know? So it's a little bit of a caveat, but it's absolutely 100% worth if you do get the full co-op experience.
That reminds me, I've been wanting to try to get back into It Takes Two, maybe with you, because now that one's free on everything, and I can finally get achievements for it.
Yeah, we never finished that one. We got a pretty good ways into it. And that one was really amazing too, and it's hard to believe that game's like, I think it's 7 or 8 years old now or something like that. It's really wild.
Yeah. Let's see. My next one I will mention is decidedly not co-op. But I was excited that it came back after years and years of whispers and rumors, and it's the Oblivion remaster.
Oh, it was funny. You know, I haven't even played this one yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of it, and I am kind of not stuck, but I'm getting to the point that I got to in like the first time I played it, where I've done.
Which is funny because that was like 18 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know I've done like one of the main story missions that like moves the marker to a different part, and then I got stuck doing a whole bunch of side missions in the town I'm in, which has also taken me to a secondary town, and then I got sidetracked. But once again, it's a great time suck. Like I really enjoyed Fallout 4 and Skyrim, and so now I'm applying what I've learned there in the years since Oblivion first came out, and I'm going back and trying to approach Oblivion that way. And I'd say the quality of life improvements that they put into this one allow me to do that now. Mm-hmm. They've changed like a lot of the mechanics and the leveling, although you still have to go to sleep to officially level, but it doesn't feel like such a chore like it did the first time.
I think they tweaked it because I saw some video and I didn't really get the whole content because I was like, working at the same time. But it had a really crazy way of leveling back then. And I guess certain ways were actually broken the way certain stats worked, so I guess they kind of adjusted that in the remaster, which is good.
There was the thing where like was it like endurance or athletics, where you could just hop across the entire map.
I do remember that,
and that would level up your athletics. And it's like I think they've toned that down a little, or at least they've made it so that you don't need a high athletics level. You can just play the game the way you want, and if you happen to be running and jumping and leveling that up, hey, good for you. Now your character is that way. Mm-hmm. I've also appreciated that they've changed up the lock picking, not the what do you call it, the mini game, because I miss the one from Skyrim and from Fallout 4. They had the little rotating thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That one was so fun, but it was also a little broken because once you get good at it, you get really good at it.
Yeah, you really didn't use too many lock picks at that point because you could find the sweet spot reasonably well.
Yeah, this one they have the little thing where you have to hammer the pins up.
I remember that.
And they did, however, make it so you don't have to have a certain lock picking level. You can just approach a lock pick and it'll warn you, hey, this one's kind of hard. Mm-hmm. And it does make the pins drop faster and stuff like that, so the timing's a little off. But at least you can attempt it. It's not like saying, oh, you need to be a certain lock picking skill for this.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, well, I'm never, as soon as I reach that level, I'm never coming back to this lock, so screw you.
Yeah, that's like, I'll go back to Starfield, where it's like, oh, you want a gun attachment? Be level 2 and spend like 20 hours leveling up to level 2 or something.
Yeah.
Or craft ammo or something. Yeah. Let's see. I'll talk about another one here. Let's see. This one was a big surprise for me. I forgot if you discovered it or if I discovered it. I don't know how we came across this one, but Guns of Fury on the Switch.
Oh, yeah. I randomly saw this on, I think it was on YouTube. There was a trailer.
Yeah. I remember how we discovered it, but it's one of my gems of the year, really, because it's Metal Slug, but a Metroidvania. It's it's not actually Metal Slug, but it definitely has that art style to it, like even down to the sprite styles. And
yep.
Some of the vehicles look like they're straight out of Metal Slug.
Some bullet hell time.
Yeah, and I really love this one because I really love Metroidvanias, and when you kind of mix two different genres or two different series, it works. It can work, it cannot work, but this worked really well. It was totally fair to play through. Like, I didn't feel like I was, some of the bosses were probably the hardest part, right? But bosses were fair because there's all based on patterns. They kind of mimicked some bullet hell shooters where there's all projectiles on the screen at once and certain patterns you have to monitor, but I never felt like it was cheap.
Yeah.
And you don't have a leveling system, which actually is fine. Like, you discover a lot of different weapons in here, which you kind of mix and match and see what works best for you. There's like melee. It's just a really tight, really solid Metroidvania that is really good for the value. It's only like $15, $13. And I played right through this one. Like I enjoyed it so much. I was like, I did get stuck a few times. I will say there's a couple issues with like, sometimes it's hard to know what you can and can't jump on because sometimes there's not enough contrast between the platform and the actual background. But that's like small stuff. Like once you kind of get the rhythm of things and know where to traverse, it's not too big a deal. And it's a Metroidvania by nature, so you're already going to get stuck at certain points unless you remember where everything is. And there are certain points where I got stuck. I'm like, oh, it was right there where I didn't think it was because I thought I looked everywhere on the map.
Yeah, that got me a couple times. I also have this on my list for today, and I really liked it. I haven't beaten it completely, but I've gotten farther than I expected because a lot of these bosses look a little foreboding, and then I was surprised that I picked up on their patterns pretty quick.
Yeah, they're really fair.
I might have only died like once or twice to a boss, and I realized, oh, I approached that wrong. And then when I come back the next time, I'm like, okay, this time I'll get you with this weapon.
And the save points are generous to where usually if you die at a boss, it's not too far. You might have to sit through like a couple lines of text or but it's never like, like the old Metroidvanias where it's like you might die like half a block away.
And there was no autosave.
Yeah, and you have to get through a bunch of enemies to get to the boss and to survive. Like this was a really fair, like I said, I would love a sequel for this because I feel like they did so good with the first game. I don't know how much of a success it was. It feels like no one talks about this game.
Oh no, yeah.
Probably got buried with everything else throughout the year.
I was surprised that it even popped up on my recommended as a trailer.
Yeah, and it's just really freaking good. Like it doesn't do anything truly amazing, but it's just completely solid. You could definitely tell it was made with whoever passionate developer. I don't know how big the team is, but they wanted to marry the two different games, and they did a really good job with it. It's worth the money. I unlocked a cool 8-bit mode, which makes it look like a Game Boy game, which I thought was cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there are a few unlockables. I don't know how much more there is, but they're called filters basically.
Yeah.
But it's a really great game. If you haven't checked it out, it's dirt cheap. And you love Metroidvanias, this is a perfect game for you. It's really worthwhile, especially on Switch. It's a great portable game.
Yeah. The next parts on my list, I was going to take it, cue the AVGN music. I was going to take it back to the past.
Oh.
Because, we play a lot of...
talk about the shitty games that suck ass?
No, I'm talking about the good games that I actually want to play.
There you go. I would hope so. That's a lot of episode.
Yeah. A lot of games we've been playing to do episodes on, and some of them I've been playing for future episodes upcoming. So... thankfully, a lot of stuff is on PS Plus with the backwards compatibility all the way to the PS1 era.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see that for me. Like, I think it's crazy when, we were obviously like preteens when the PS1 came out, and it's really crazy for me now to see this 30 years later. Like, we're playing on a PS5, 5 generations later, but we're playing PS1 games on this new machine.
And really enjoying them.
And really enjoying them all the same, faults and all.
So I downloaded Siphon Filter.
Oh, that's a freaking classic.
That'll be a great game if we ever do an episode on it. And it's so bizarre how the moment I started seeing some things and hearing the music, it just triggered a memory I didn't realize I still had. And I could remember everywhere to go in these levels. Except in the first level, I still got lost as I always did back then.
Me too, yep. I did the exact same thing. I was like, this level's not that big.
Yeah. What am I missing?
Yeah.
Turns out it was like a dark area.
Yeah, because I forgot you had a flashlight in here for about an hour and a half.
Yes. It's not easily told to you.
No. Well, it didn't tell you at all. Like, you had to read the manual, which I could have pulled up, but I didn't think to do that.
So after that, I was also downloading the Twisted Metal series that's available.
This series is very, very near and dear to my heart. I was the OG Twisted Metal. I got it on the PS1 back then.
And once again, the memories that were triggered as soon as I went to the main menu of Twisted Metal 1, and you hear, as you're selecting a car, you hear all the sound effects and there wasn't even really music at that point.
Well, it had like this sort of like butt rock soundtrack, which was great for what it was. But definitely it's like, there's like sirens in the background. Like I haven't even played in a while, but that's what I remember is like your sirens and like butt rock, which is great.
Yeah. And then as soon as I got dropped into the main story missions, I was like, oh my God, I remember this. I remember the first level is just an arena one-on-one with somebody. And then I remember the little city level that you go to next and everything. I also did Twisted Metal 2 for a little bit because I don't think... It's weird. I remember a lot of the characters in that, and I guess we played it a lot back then.
I borrowed it a lot from a friend because I got that a little bit later. Like I want to say we even got that closer to Twisted Metal 3. But I borrowed that a lot and rented a lot. So I don't think we played it nearly as much as the first game.
Not as much as the first one, but I still remembered quite a bit. I don't remember the single player at all in that one because I know if we were playing it, it was definitely the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went along nicely with the Twisted Metal series that I was watching, because I was finally starting to see what they were alluding to. Like, oh, there's what's her name, Twister?
Yes.
Yeah, there's that. There were the two guys that drive the monster truck, even though they weren't
guys.
Even though they weren't driving one in the show and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I get all the references again.
Yeah, it takes that show. So, like with any show that's based on a game or something, or movie, I should say too. I'm always kind of skittish and skeptical because you don't want to get hyped about something, and more often than not, it's just not great. But we've been eating pretty good as far as like movie games and TV shows. And Twisted Metal does take a few episodes to get going, which I always hate to say, stick with it. But at least these episodes are short enough to where it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I was surprised they were only half an hour.
Yeah, they're really fast, and then it does take like 3 episodes to really get going, and then you start seeing all the references and Easter eggs folded in, and then by the end of the first season, you're like, oh, this is Twisted Metal. This is great.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I see what they're getting at. This was a whole like prequel.
Yeah. I did play through, well, not play through, but I played some of the early Twisted Metal games because we were going to record with my brother last week or where it was.
Yeah.
And I just, all those memories came up for me as well, and I just love those games so much, faults and all, because, a lot of them don't age that great. But the ones that were really after Black and after are really, really good. Like, I really do enjoy those games still today, even though they're really freaking difficult. Like, Twisted Metal Black is just insane. But I played Twisted Metal Head On. That was still really fun. I need to get a new disc for PS2 apparently because that one's broken, so I had to play an emulator. Yeah, I kept putting it in. I was like, why isn't this working? I don't understand. It's clean. You know? But yeah, I can't wait for us to talk about that because between the three of us, you, my brother, and I, it's going to be a really fun episode, I think, because we have a ton of memories for that, especially my brother and I.
Yep.
All right, so the next game I'll talk about on mine. This one I could not stop gushing about because I just love this game so much, and it's really, in my eyes, like the proper evolution of turn-based combat, and that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This is by a smaller development company. From what I understand, a lot of the people who are in this development company were previously at Ubisoft and were supposedly tired of not being able to create original kind of games.
That makes sense.
Right? Which makes sense. I mean, that's just the nature of like corporate gaming. It's like they make money, so they're going to make stuff that's formulaic, whatever. But this is a really great game. It's sort of it has a French twist because they're by French developers. And the whole premise here, I mean, I'll give the origin story. It's basically about sort of the stages of grief and acceptance and all those emotions tied and related to that, except it's sort of spread out over like a 35 hour game with a lot of twists and turns and things you wouldn't expect. But the real star of the show for me, besides the voice acting and the story, is the combat, where it's really just like a turn-based Devil May Cry, Stellar Blade, like action-heavy game where all the damage you take is really your own fault because you can parry just about every single attack, you can dodge every single attack. You get different sort of setups where you might have to jump and attack, right? There might be a sweeping attack you have to jump over. But this game gives you full power to set up all of your combat abilities to however you want. Each character is very distinct and has their own sort of battle system that is very unique to themselves. And it all coalesces and it has so much interplay with each other where it's just a total joy to play. Like, I was just playing this every single night for like a week and a half straight till I finished it. And I'd like to go back and do the side content. It's just, I knew I had to finish this because there's other games coming that I want to get to, which is often the case. But this is really, for me, like, Clair Obscur is really like a top contender for the game of the year. Like, I don't know where I'm going to place it yet because we still have 6 months left. But I'd say easily top 5, if not like top 3.
Yeah, another one, I think we're getting kind of close to what I've been playing most recently, which I've been talking about on the past couple episodes, and that's now all the racing stuff. And it starts with, before we did our racing episode, I sent you that video about all the street racing.
Yeah, all the importuner kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it really, got to me where I was like, man, I missed that. And
we do that all the time though, where it's like we'll see a video on a topic or something, and all of a sudden we got this spark where you just want to play like all these games in a certain genre. And
and I like most recently I want to play that was it Fast Fusion that you talked about, because I've been itching for like some sort of hovercraft.
Oh yeah, game. Yeah. I showed you that one on Switch too. That one's dirt cheap too. It's only $15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But I did start playing again because I found it on, I think it was on Xbox for sale. Midnight Club LA.
Oh, I did. You know what? I picked that up as well right after you did because, of course, hilariously, it went on sale like 2 days after you bought it.
Yeah. It was on sale, but then it went even more on sale.
Yeah, I think I got it for like $7. You probably got it for like 11 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
I was like, damn it. But that was another one that triggered so many memories because I remember when I was first playing it, I was on an Xbox 360, but I didn't have like a really good TV yet. So it was really hard to see the words. It was back when they were making games for HD, but the TVs weren't keeping up.
And most of us didn't have an HD TV yet.
Yeah. But it was still fun as hell. It was after Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. And the thing I liked about it most was that it was like a scale representation of all of LA. And you could go around, and the street races, you could just drive up to somebody, flash your lights, and start a race. You didn't have to go through menus or anything like that. This was probably one of the last times that I really enjoyed an open world racer. Didn't bother me at all, even though the LA was pretty large. But it had a pretty good quick travel system, so you didn't get too bogged down with everything. And then one more aspect that I don't think Need for Speed ever had was that you could race for pink slips.
I do remember that was a big gimmick.
Yeah. And they had a thing where like you couldn't just sort of save and reload like the way you can in a lot of games now. This one was like, you better be sure that you can win, otherwise you will lose your ride. And at one point I did.
So what happens when you lose? I mean, if you only have one car, can you even race for a pink slip? I mean, what happens then, or no?
That I can't remember, because I know I had at least 2 by that point. Maybe the pink slips didn't open until I had a second car.
I guess you probably have to have at least 2. Because I don't know what you do without a car.
But the one I lost was this like Ford Focus ST hatchback, and I'm like, at the time I was like, that's the car I wanted to get when I was younger. And once you get it taken away, you can still find that person out on the road and try to get it back.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you set up kind of a rivalry with this person, but also you may want to beef up your other car to make sure you can win it back. Otherwise, you end up losing 2.
Yeah. I played this a little bit because we were kind of talking about Midnight Club as a series in general, because I do remember playing the original game way back then, and it was definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? It's there wasn't a whole lot of content, I guess I could say. It was just a very straightforward, city racer, which was fine for the time. It was like one of the earlier PS2 games, and then it was by Rockstar, which is also more interesting as well. But LA was definitely like the pinnacle of the series, and once I played this game, I was like, wow, this game holds up really well. And I'm kind of surprised at how tight the camera is. Like, it's really action-oriented camera. Like, there's a lot of shunting around and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's a really weird camera angle where it makes it look like an action movie, like Stuntman or Driver. But it's a really solid game. I want to put more time into it because I played it like a little bit back in the day, but it looks great on the Series X. Like, I don't know if they enhanced it or anything, but for $7, I was like, yeah, why shouldn't I buy this?
Yeah.
Get my fist in there.
I really enjoyed the sense of speed in this one, and just you could do the little draft up to a certain boost and everything.
That's right. Yeah,
It felt like the shake and bake from Talladega Nights.
It did.
But yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. And it's funny too, because I was looking at this video that I sent you that was covering all of the street racers, but it covered the Midnight Club obviously too. And when he was showing clips from the first one, I was like, wait a minute, I played that one. I forgot I had played the first one. For some reason, my memory was that I just sort of jumped into Midnight Club LA because I wanted another underground type game. But I do remember now that I followed the series up to a certain point, dropped off, and then went back when LA came out.
Yeah, because I had played 1, 2, I think I played a little bit of 3 when I was still working at the video store. I can't remember when that came out. But, I felt the series as well, because it's like anything else. There was Need for Speed Underground, which at the time I definitely liked more than Midnight Club. And there's also just a ton of other racers out at the same time as well. So that's all it was. Like, you just kind of got lost in the shuffle with everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep my next choice to racing as well, because I've been playing this one, not a whole ton, but I've been playing it a little bit. It's actually really robust for being in early access. This is Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an old series. It started as early as the Super Nintendo, as we discovered, which I thought was really cool. I'm more familiar with the Dreamcast games because I really enjoyed those. It was sort of like my parallel to Metropolis Street Racer. Like, it's just Japanese street racing. The whole idea here is like, you're really just on Japanese freeways challenging other racers to races and getting money and buying new cars, upgrades.
And you get life bars.
It's sort of the idea is like you're supposed to outpace them. So it's almost like Street Fighter in that sense, where the further you stay ahead, their life, so to speak, drains out and you win the race. And the same could happen adversely, where it's like if they're ahead of you, your life goes down. And this is an early access on PC. I hope it comes to console and everywhere else, because what they have so far, I think it's been out for about a year or so. They still could use more cars. They still could use more freeway tracks and whatnot. But it's really fun so far because I always complain like sometimes like some of the open world games I just kind of get tired of sometimes going to events, and you have to you kind of have to be in the rhythm and feel that vibe for it. This is just cruise around the highway. You see someone you want to challenge them. You know, it's very kind of chill, but still like an arcade racer. So I like what I'm seeing so far. I don't think I'll put this like on my top 10 list for the year or anything, but this one's definitely one I'm keeping an eye on for the rest of the year, and hopefully in 2026, whenever their full release is, because I really enjoy it. It's just a cut and dry arcade racer, which is what I like.
Yeah, one I've got my eye on now is called Car X Street, and I know it's been an app game for a little while. I think under a different name, maybe just Car X or something like that. But I just saw a trailer that it's coming to consoles, and it looks very much like
it does
a successor to Underground and Midnight Club.
I'm curious. Did that one have a date? I haven't noticed.
Oh, I want to say fall, but I don't remember. So
it's not that far away. Yeah, I really want to keep an eye out for that because I played the Car X Drift a little bit because that was like $5 on PSN, and some of our friends were playing it. It's definitely a drift game. Like I'm not sure how to play it just yet. Like it's definitely like a game I'm not used to playing. Like you remember that drift game Matt had for PS2?
Initial D?
Is that no? It wasn't Initial D. It was something else.
That was the arcade.
But you know, it was like full on like drift physics, like not just like grid or Need for Speed.
Yeah, I remember it was like the Gran Turismo of drifting.
Yeah. It reminded me of that game kind of, but you know, a little bit more arcadey. But you know, $4 it was great. So this, I didn't expect that they would make another game, but the new one looks really, really good.
Yeah, it looks like you can really tune your car to either be a racer or be a drifter and stuff like that. Yeah, it's sort of taking what they've done before and then adding onto it. Other than that, though, like I said, I've just been into the racing mode, so I've been doing a lot of F1 25 and now Mario Kart World. And
I wanted to bring this one up for sure because, I mean, this one's more top of mind and recent than anything else.
Yeah, this is definitely going on Game of the Year. And yeah, I don't know. I talked about it a pretty good amount on our last episode.
We did, yeah. But you know, it's worth retrying because it is really that great. Like it's Mario Kart. It's hard to falter. Like there's not really, even the weakest Mario Kart games are not bad games at all, right? Yeah. They're just like we have less of a preference towards them, but they're still really solid. And Mario Kart World is just as good as Mario Kart 8, if not better. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
but it's a damn great game. I think that's the thing is with Nintendo is they understand the assignment when it's like, how can you get better than really what's the ultimate Mario Kart game? Mario Kart 8 had like everything, had 96 courses, tons of characters, just about anything you can imagine. And it's like, well, how do you top that? Which is my question for Smash Bros. Whenever that comes out too. It's like, how do you get bigger than what you've already done? Yeah. And Mario Kart World definitely made the right choices as far as like making everything more open world. There's some like rally courses, which I think are great. Like the knockout mode is sort of like a parallel to F-Zero 99, which I freaking love, where you're on like sort of a 6-stretch race. And then each sort of cutoff point or checkpoint, if you're not within a certain placing threshold, you're knocked out.
Yeah.
So the first race, you have to be within 20th. Then it's like 12th or 16th, I think.
16, 12,
8, and then 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just becomes like this crazy sort of gumball rally elimination.
Yeah.
And it's just tons of fun. So that mode alone, I would say, is worth Mario Kart World. But then the actual GPs and the courses are all really just on another level of just insane. Like Rainbow Road is probably the most amazing Rainbow Road it's ever done, just as far as like aesthetics and look and the length of the course. It's really wild. So stellar game, absolutely worth it. We're only like a week or two into it and we love it. So
yeah,
I don't know what the release for the next few months, but it's definitely a big game for us.
It was surprising how unique they made it when like some tracks can either be just the circuit for 3 laps or you're on a road going to the track and then you do 1 lap at the track. And when I first like heard about this in the gameplay that they were showing earlier this year, I was like, okay, that sounds kind of interesting. But then when I played it, I was like, oh, you know what? I like this. This is a good way to do things. And then it really helps you prepare for that knockout mode, which we didn't talk about in the last episode, but like that's really, it reminds me of, I mean, F-Zero 99, obviously, but also the way that NASCAR does their championship season, like their playoffs. They go through 3 races and then they eliminate the bottom point getters and then you keep going. And obviously they still get to race in the races, but now they don't get to race for the championship. It'd be kind of crazy if like in Mario Kart, if people got eliminated but didn't get eliminated.
Oh, that would be chaos. So it'd be as chaotic as an online race on there.
So you're down to the final 4, but you're still getting screwed over by 20 other drivers. It could be like a total revenge mode thing. Like, I don't care. I can't win now, but I'm not going to let you win either.
It's funny because we were talking about this last night when we were racing. We did 4-player, which is great. We had Vito, Randy, you, and myself on there. And it was really cool because we're like, why are the GPs more chaotic than knockouts? And of course, we quickly realized that, well, in knockout, it slowly becomes a dwindling game where it's like you have less and less racers on the course. So therefore, it's just naturally less chaotic because there's some GPs where one of us will be in first, whether it's a mile away or not.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just one deluge of items that just ruins your day. And you're like, how did 22 people catch up to me? And why am I in 24th now?
Yep. You're like, I didn't know the number went this high.
Yeah. So definitely a great time. I really enjoy that. I'm sure that's probably going to make my top 10. Although this year is packed. So I have no idea. I have to imagine it has to be on my top 10 because I've been playing that like a ton since we got it.
And I feel like we're going to play it a ton more.
We will. Because it's easy to pick up. It's Mario Kart. You want to get on for a few races? All right.
And then a few races turn into like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's 11:45. We got work tomorrow. That's cool. All right, so next one on my list, Ducey. I would be very remiss if I didn't mention this one because of how much love I have for the series. But Doom: The Dark Age.
Oh yeah.
I've finished this one. This is one of the games I finished this year. I am a total Doom head, boomer shooter, Bliss person, all through and through. And this is the newest in the sort of reboot trilogy of Doom, which still take place, I think, after the original Dooms, as far as I know. And this one it's much more grounded. It's kind of a medieval theme because it's a bit of a prequel to Doom 2016. So a lot of the mobility and a lot of the crazy abilities and a lot of the combat options you had in Eternal are a little bit more streamlined and simplified, which I think it works and it's great. Like, I love it, but I do love the expansive chaos of Eternal, and like the verticality of it.
Yeah.
This is a lot more grounded like the original ones, which is great. Like, you have a melee shield and you could toss the shield, and there's some areas that are definitely inspired by like Returnal and bullet hell shooters. Like, some of the bosses just throw bombardments of projectiles there, and you're like, oh, this looks familiar, and you could parry some of those. I think it was like a solid 15 hours, 18 hours, and I loved it all the way through. I still would place this as like number 3 in the trilogy, I think, as far as like the 3 games that have come out since 2016. I really like it. It's just once you kind of finish, you're like, all right, well, that was it, kind of thing. I just feel like there wasn't much to do there. Like, I don't know, but I still love it. It's still one of the best games I played this year because it's Doom and I love Doom, and it's just it's just like a no bullshit shooter. There's not much fluff here.
I was going to say, you can't really feel like, oh, that was it, because Doom has always been that way.
Exactly. Like, I don't feel underwhelmed. I just feel like I'm satisfied.
I'm whelmed.
Yeah, I'm whelmed.
I mean, how many times have I played the original Doom and I told you, oh, this is giving me the itch to play it 125th time.
Yeah.
But like, you don't mind that you're not leveling up and doing all that stuff. You just want to get in and shoot things.
And just shoot everything that moves. And you have a bunch of different weapons, which all have their different sort of sub weapons that you can swap between. And it also has the mechanics that the old Dooms had, where it's like you kind of want to keep a cycle of things. So it's like you want to refill your ammo or your health in certain ways. So it does all these things where you constantly have to be moving and keeping on your toes, so the combat doesn't get too monotonous because you have to think about those things. So for me, it's always a win. Like, it's just Doom. It's a win. I cannot say no to Doom.
I think I wanted to actually look towards the future now. Now that we have a Switch 2, I want to get some games for that. And one of them would be Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Bonanza. It's a play on words, which I thought was great. It's perfect. Bonanza. Yeah. I thought this was a Switch 2 launch game, which sucks that it isn't.
It's like only, a month away,
It's a month away, yeah. I mean, it's pretty close. I think it's July, like mid-July or something like that, which, I mean, we're not too far from to begin with at this point.
Yeah.
But, I'm really looking forward to that one because I love Donkey Kong, and that one looks like a great time. I think it's the same team who have done the previous 3D Mario games, so I expect it to be really, really good.
Like Mario Odyssey?
I believe so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same developer. I read some rumbling online. I don't know how true it was because I this was like this morning.
Yeah.
So I didn't dig too deep. But apparently it's some of the people who worked with the 3 Mario games. So it should be a really good game. It looks really phenomenal.
That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense, though, because like Retro Studios was taking care of the Donkey Kong Returns and stuff, but they're a little busy with another game we're probably looking forward to.
Yeah. Is that this year? I don't even know if Metroid Prime is this year. I thought it was, right? Because I'm gonna almost crap my pants when that comes out.
But they also said it was going to be for Switch. Like, this was before Switch 2 was even announced, and I have to say, like, it's probably going to be more for Switch 2.
Well, I imagine that's the thing is, I don't know if they clarified that the video they showed was on Switch 1. I don't know if it was. Yeah. The thing is, like, they did do some miracles with Metroid Prime 1 where it looks like it doesn't look like a GameCube game. It looks like a full-blown Switch game. And that runs amazingly well on Switch. So I don't know what they showed is Switch 1, but I guarantee there's going to be a Switch 2 version that's enhanced, which of course is the one we're going to get. Yeah. So regardless, I'm excited. If it was for Switch 1 or Switch 2, I've been waiting for Prime 4 since, what did it announce? 2017? 2018, I think it was? 2018, because Switch 1 came out 2017. Yeah. So 7 years we haven't had Metroid Prime.
And like back when they first announced it, Retro Studios wasn't even on board with that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they had to they had to redo everything at some point.
They completely switched over. They were like, no, you guys take care of this.
Yeah, we can't do this. This is like someone taking on a project and like, yeah, I should just let you do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of like enhanced versions, though, I'm looking forward to other things like Kirby: The Forgotten Lands.
I want to get the upgrade because that also gives me an excuse to finish that game because I really did love Kirby: The Forgotten Lands. I just never finished it like so many games because I got distracted. But I was actually surprised at how much I loved that one. It was actually a really, really solid game all throughout.
Yeah, my wife was really getting into it too. I think I got it for a birthday or something, and yeah, she was spending a lot of time. I think she even passed me at one point
that makes
where
sense.
I got to.
Yeah.
Also, have they said this is a game that like totally like flew over the radar for me? Like I lost track of it, and it was the Zelda game where you play as Zelda.
Link's Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah,
that came out. Was it early this year? I don't remember. I finished that one.
Yeah. Have they said if they're gonna like do anything for Switch 2 for that one?
That one got a patch recently.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe. So that one did get a patch that improves the visuals a little bit and improves the frame rate because I think it ran okay, like 30 frames a second. There were some hitches, which sucks because it's not that complex of a game. There wasn't a whole lot going on, but I mean it's whatever. Like it didn't. The pace of the game didn't matter that it would have frame drops, right? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it does look better on Switch 2. I haven't checked it myself, but it's worth playing. You could borrow it. I have it on Kart.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was just thinking like, oh, I forgot all about the game. I've been wanting to play it, and I was about to pick it up for in the e-store, but I was like, oh yeah,
you could borrow it because I did finish that one. It's it's not terribly long, which is good because I think I mentioned when I beat it on the episode way back is that it was just long enough where it didn't overstay its welcome because my issues with it were more that the gimmick is you collect these echoes as they call them, where it's like enemies, it could be like pots or whatever. Basically, each sort of echo you collect might have some sort of utility use where it's like you might be able to stack boxes or something. But by the end of the game, I kind of got to a point where I was rotating through a certain amount that are certain ones that were actually useful.
Oh,
but then there became certain situations where maybe I didn't have one I should have had, and I don't know which one I should have because I thought I was collecting everything. So it made some puzzles a little bit more difficult. But again, like it didn't overstay its welcome. It was just at the point where it's like it was just perfectly fun enough and really good Zelda game, but definitely not like the upper echelon Zelda games. Like this is like a solid Zelda game where it's not like Ocarina of Time or something like that. It's a great side adventure.
Yep. I'm also looking forward to. I don't know if this is jumping away from Switch 2 and talking about it, or if it might be coming to Switch 2. But really looking forward to now the Outer Worlds 2.
Oh yeah, that one.
Is that one coming to Switch 2?
I would think I think it has to because I mean Outer Worlds 1 was on Switch 1 and it was a hot mess, a hot technical mess. So I'd imagine the second one has to come out on Switch 2, and of course it's going to be a lot better than what the original one was.
Yeah.
But I need to finish the first game actually before I even mess with the second one.
The second one, from just the trailers that I've seen, I'm like, oh my god, I spent so much time on the first one, and this one looks like it's going to have so much more to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know where to begin, but I'm looking forward to spending all of my time on that one.
I think that's going to be really good. Like I know the first game wasn't one of those 9.5 out of 10s, but I know it's like a super solid, really awesome game. I'm sure the second one's going to be even better because they have a foundation that was already great, so they're just going to build upon that, and I can't imagine they'll mess it up really. So I'll get to that someday, but I am looking forward to that nonetheless. One big game I'm very much looking forward to is Marvel Tokon Fighters, I think it's called.
Yes.
That is the...
Fighting Spirit? Or
Soul Marvel Tokon like Fighting Spirit, I think it's called. Where I forgot the name right. I should have looked it up. It's the new Marvel game by Arxis Games. They have done the Guilty Gear games, which are in a ton of like anime fighters, but they are they're very heavy on like the anime aesthetic, but also like they are very stylistic. Like all of their games have this really realized style that almost looks like a comic book coming off the page, and that's what this Marvel Tokon Fighting game looks like. It looks like these Marvel characters are all like cel shaded and they look like straight from the comics. What I caught which was really cool, is that when you swap out characters, it looks like drawing paper for a brief moment. Like it's almost like a sketch dropping in. And this is a 4-on-4 fighter. It looks like it's going to have the X-Men because they showed Storm. Mm-hmm. And it just looks like the It looks like what Marvel vs. Capcom would be without Capcom, which is kind of the joke.
Yeah.
But it's basically Marvel vs. Capcom without Capcom, and it's 4-on-4 Marvel, and I am stupidly excited for this game.
The only thing I'm not excited for is the 4-on-4. Like,
it's going to be chaotic.
Yeah. 3-on-3 was starting to push it. Like, it was a lot of fun, but I was realizing recently when I was playing the Marvel Fighting Collection, like, I was not finishing matches on the 3-on-3, like, MVC2, because it just takes forever.
Well, that's the problem with MVC2 for sure. That's really a big MVC2 problem, is that there's no infinite timer, because there's times I'm playing online and it's just, you don't want to die. Neither does the other person. Sometimes you're just trying to like chip away at each other until time runs out, which I hate.
Yeah.
Because it should just be like until both all your characters are exhausted. So I hope this game won't have that. I suspect it won't, because I'm sure the pace of the game is going to be enough to to supplement a 99-second round or whatever it's going to be.
Hopefully,
I would think so.
Or at least give us an infinite option. Like
an
infinite timer.
I would think so. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's an MVC2 thing, and a couple other fighting games done it, and I still do it in some fighting games now, but. It's not as prevalent. Like MVC2 is definitely like the worst offender for that kind of thing.
I'm also going to lose track of like who has what life and everything, and what button calls who out, because I switched around so much.
I did read that there is a simplified control scheme, which I know you mentioned. Like, I hope they have that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means with ArcSys, but I'm sure it's something that accessible where it's like you don't have to know all the inputs, because I purely like classic mode, and I love. I'll do the pure input thing.
Yeah.
But then I also think it's great when they add modes like that for people who are like, I don't want to sit here and commit time to learning 4 characters.
Yeah.
And have to learn to fight with them properly while managing all these inputs and super combos and everything else.
Like, learning 4 characters is probably more than I've learned in other fighting games. But at the same time, those will be the only 4 I learn. I won't even branch out from those.
Yeah.
One I'm looking forward to is another Marvel game, and that's the beat 'em up.
Oh, Crisis. God, what is that one called?
Yeah, I always forget the name. In fact, I forgot it was coming out until I saw the new trailer for it with She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, geez, I'm trying to forget what it's called. It's not called Crisis Protocol or something. No, it's not. But yeah, it's done by the same developers, I think, as the TMNT game.
Yeah,
Streets of Rage 4.
Shredder's Revenge,
right? Yeah.
And they are... Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it, because it's the same sort of pixel art and classic feel, but modern beat 'em up.
Cosmic Invasion. That's what
there
it's called.
we go.
Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Yeah, that one I am very excited for, because it's we did a whole episode on beat 'em ups and the resurgence, and we called out 3 very big ones for us, which were Power Rangers, Shredder's Revenge, Streets of Rage 4, which I believe Streets of Rage 4 and Shredder's Revenge are like the absolute pinnacle of beat 'em ups. So I'm glad that because of those games' successes, that we can have more beat 'em ups.
Yep.
And this one looks like everything that those are doing and even better. It's sort of like the next evolution of the X-Men arcade game from back in the day.
I was going to say, when was the last time Marvel's had really a beat 'em up? Because, we talked about X-Men Legends and Ultimate Alliance on the last episode, but those were definitely more Diablo-esque.
I've played them on Game Boy Advance, believe it or not. There's a couple on there that are just they're just fine. Right? They're not bad games. They're just they're perfectly enjoyable for what they are in Game Boy Advance. I forgot what it's called. I have it here. It's like Rise of Apocalypse or something like that. I think that was the Game Boy Color one. I don't know, but they're solid. Like, they're fun. They're beat 'em ups. They're okay, but they're not like what we're bound to get with the new one.
Yeah, the last good one that I can think of is way back on the X-Men arcade. I know there was like Captain America and the Avengers.
Yeah.
But those had some flaws here and there.
Would you count Mutant Apocalypse as a beat 'em up, I guess, even though that's strictly 2D? It's not like on a plane of sorts.
Which one was that one?
That was the Super Nintendo one.
Oh, right. Oh, that was like Capcom Street Fighter type thing. Yeah, no, I would count that.
You could probably count that,
yeah,
right?
That's
and that one is one of my favorites for sure. I mean, we did an episode on that as well, which is in the archives. But that's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, and it's also one of the best X-Men games I think ever, really.
Oh, I guess
and you can count the Genesis ones.
The Genesis ones,
yeah. X-Men 2, I would say more than one.
Yeah.
Let's see. So a big game that's coming out in a couple months that I've had pre-order for probably about a year and a half now is Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta.
Oh, wow.
This is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which is, I'd say, like, all the Metal Gear games are my favorite. I could say it's one of my favorites, but Metal Gear Solid 3 might be the best out of the entire series because of what it did at the time, how much of a technical feat it was on PS2, how it looked, how it played, and above all else, probably had one of the most amazing final boss fights I ever played in my life, as far as just like the setting, the weight of the story, and the impact of what was going to be the outcome when you defeat literally the boss, and the whole story after the fact. So I'm stupidly excited about this. They've tried to keep it as pure and as sort of as close to the original as they can, and it looks like it from the trailers I've seen.
Did they re-record any lines, or are they keeping those too?
I don't know. I know they've kept most of what they had from the original. I'd imagine maybe there's some things that they couldn't retain. I don't know why. I'm sure they probably had to re-record some, but as far as I know, it's basically everything they can take for the voice acting from the original game, they're going to include in this. So I would assume that's everything that they have available for them.
Strangely, like everybody has been talking about how this was like their favorite one, and I'd say it's probably the one I played the least. Like 3 and 4, I played one time each, beat them, loved them, and then never went back to them. Whereas 1 and 2, I've replayed tons of times.
Yeah, it's funny. I definitely played 1 and 2 more than I've replayed 3. But 3, I don't know. 3 just felt like a longer game too. So maybe that's why. Like I'm sure it's shorter now. Like in my mind, it was probably like 30 hours, but it was probably more like 10.
Yeah.
But it felt like such a long game at the time, and it's also, I think, even slower paced than the other ones because you're in sort of these jungle areas, so you're definitely not sure what's around the corner or what could be in the area as far as enemies. But this one, I still feel like the story was the most impactful, even though I think the story of Metal Gear Solid 2 is way more prescient nowadays for the time we're living in.
Oh, yeah.
Right? As far as like social media and misinformation and all that stuff. But I think 3 was really like sort of the, beyond the fact that it's also sort of an homage to Bond too. That's also the cherry on top of everything else.
Yeah, because this takes place in the 60s. And,
yeah. And they definitely they struck that perfectly as far as like trying to get that feel.
You get a Bond song right off the bat. One other one I am looking forward to. It was kind of a big surprise at the end of the was it the Summer Games Fest? It wasn't the Xbox one, but it was the first one that played. I think it was just called
Summer Game Fest.
Summer Game Fest. Resident Evil 9.
Oh yeah. That's coming out February 2026.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm stupidly. It's called Resident Evil Requiem.
Yeah, I'm not as excited as I was for like the Resident Evil 2 remake, but I am looking forward to this one, and it has lit a fire under me to get 7 and 8 done.
Yeah, after this long. It's funny because you borrowed 8 from me so long that or no, did you borrow it after you bought it? Did you buy it?
I bought it. I forgot I bought it. Then I borrowed it from you.
It was. Yeah.
And then I realized, wait, I have it. So I gave that back to you, and I still haven't played it.
Did you buy 7? Did you have that one?
That one I had first, yeah.
Okay, so you just didn't finish that one, which is what I did. I didn't do that for like a long time either. Like I think I told you when I finally finished, I was like, Jesus, I had 2 hours left. I was that close to the end if I just stuck with it.
Yeah, I got 7 pretty much when it came out. I was excited for that one because I had played the demo. I forgot what the demo came out for. I think it was maybe just available to download or something like that. But I was really excited for 7, and then I scared myself. I think I played with like the lights off one night or something.
That'll do it. That game is very claustrophobic and dark. Yeah.
And then I put it down. I picked it back up again, and I kind of got stuck in an area where I'm like sneaking around, and I think the wife of the house is like trying to chase me down somewhere.
Oh yeah, she does that a couple times, and so I'm right because she's actually more scarier than Mr. X sometimes because she's just very in your face, quite literally, and yeah, it gets pretty intense.
Yeah, and you can hear her, and she's like talking, trying to get you to goad you out and everything. And I'm hiding somewhere. I know my save point is I'm hiding somewhere, but I'm also stuck because she's between me and progress.
Did you get to the? I'll call it the birthday cake puzzle.
I don't
think
so.
Oh god, so that was one of the more unnerving things I've seen too. That's it'll be a fun one when you get there. It's really cool. It kind of gives me a vibes of like Saw, like Jigsaw.
Oh god,
it's really cool. But once you get, I don't want to spoil it obviously. But once you get there, you're like, oh, that's pretty wild.
I know. I beat the patriarch in the garage area.
Oh, that's still really early in the game. I'd say this is probably about halfway through the game that you'll see it. But
I can't remember any other boss fights I've done.
Honestly, that game, it's a lot more harder in the beginning than it is later, which seems to be the case for some reason. Most Resident games, I should say, are some Resident Evil games. But that game definitely was harder towards the beginning more than it was towards the middle and the end because
even like the Resident Evil 4 remake was that way.
Yeah.
And the Resident Evil 2 remake was that way.
I completely agree. Yeah. And maybe it's just because you kind of get in the vibe of things, like the rhythm. But I'd say in general, like they do get, once you get used to it, they're not nearly as difficult as the beginning parts were. And Resident Evil 7 definitely encompasses that. Like there's one difficult boss fight, I would say, that's towards the last third of the game, but it's not like, a huge pain. You just have to be more prepared for it. Like I'll warn you, like, Deuce, just make sure you're stocked up.
Yeah. Don't trap yourself with a bad save.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then before you know it, the game's over after that. Yeah. It's really good,
nice.
though. All right, so I'll mention, I guess we'll kind of wrap up here, but I'll mention a trio of games I'm looking forward to, which we kind of talked about a little bit towards the beginning. So first one I'll call is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. This is the 2D Shinobi game by, I think it's also by the same Streets of Rage 4 team. I forgot who developed this one. But it looks, Streets Rage 4, so I'm definitely going to love this one. There's a guarantee about that. But this comes out in, I think, August or July. And it just looks like the style is obviously very painterly. It looks like sort of like an old ukiyo-e Japanese art style. I don't know what it's called. I can't pronounce it. Ukioye, something like that. But it's just sort of almost like a watercolor painterly kind of gimmick, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But it looks phenomenal. The other one I'll call out with this is Ninja Gaiden Rage Bounce, which is also a 2D game that's coming out in July. That's by, I forgot what developer that by. It doesn't really matter, but that one also looks really phenomenal. And the final game I'll announce it with my ninja-ness is Ninja Gaiden 4, which we kind of talked about. That's out in October for everything. I know it's on Game Pass day one, but it's out on PC, PS5. I don't think Switch 2, I'm not sure. But this is a game I would get on PS5 or Series X more than anything else. And, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff we're forgetting, too. This is just, like, top-of-mind stuff that we're looking forward to, too. I'm sure there's going to be stuff we discover in the interim, and there's going to be stuff we forgot about. But I think there's going to be so much awesome stuff in the last half of the year that we'll be able to play.
I wanted to bring up just three more real quick that I found all of a sudden at the last second because I was watching the Xbox portion of the Summer Games Fest, and I had forgotten one of these was coming, but I wanted to kind of bundle them together because of just the wide variety of what is a game and what art styles that can be used out there. The first one is called Mouse P.I.
Oh, yeah, that first-person shooter that's looks like Mickey, but it's also like Cuphead and Steamboat Willie. Yeah.
Yeah, I was blown away by this, and I think you had shown me a long time ago, but it was only out for PC.
No, I think it was just sort of an early concept trailer. I don't think they released any gameplay or anything. It was just sort of like, here's what we're working on, and it was just sort of like a tech demo to get you excited about, which it worked.
So if you know the art style of the old original Disney, and even like if you've seen Cuphead recently, it's that, but it's a first-person shooter, and I was just blown away, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this. This looks
that
awesome.
Does look great.
The next one is a totally different art style, and it's called Felt That Boxing.
Oh, you told me about this one. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the Felt That is a pun because these are Muppets, and they wobble around like Muppets. The way that it's produced looks like it looks like you're watching just the Muppets out there, but they're boxing like it's Punch-Out, which was like an amazing concept for me. I was like, oh, that never occurred to me, but this is hilarious, and it looks like it's going to be awesome. The third one is more of a traditional art style, but it brings back a feel, what do you call it, a genre that I haven't really seen in a while. Like this got huge, and then it died down, but it's steampunk. And it's going to be called Clockwork Revolution.
Oh, I did see this. Yeah, I saw that during they showed it during the showcase as well.
Yeah, and it looks really good too. It's another first-person shooter, but it has time mechanics that reminded me of Singularity.
Yes, and it looked like you said like steampunk, but it reminded me of like BioShock Infinite in a sense, like just with the color scheme and everything and the aesthetic.
Yeah, it looked very much like, I don't know, BioShock, Deathloop, but it's very steampunky. It's like over the top steampunk.
It's purely steampunk.
There's like androids in this, but they're completely steampunk looking, and I was like, I wasn't a big fan of steampunk back in the day. I wasn't like a huge proponent of it.
I think I appreciate it, but yeah, I was not in that sort of culture at all.
Yeah,
I thought it definitely had a cool look, which I think is why so many people were attracted to it to begin with.
Yeah,
but I was never like wearing the top hat and goggles gimmick thing.
But I am ready for this game because this game, I think more so, it's first person and it's the time mechanics.
Yeah,
and then the aesthetic just looks cool on top of that.
Yeah. All right, DC. Well, we covered a lot of games, and we're only 6 months through the year. And for everyone listening, thank you for going through this adventure with us. We basically talk about all the games we've been playing for like the last 6 months, more or less, and everything we're coming up with. So
we had to let the people know how it feels to be a gamer right now because there is so much crammed into this year.
If anything, I know we don't have like a whole lot of reach here, but all the games we listed, there's a ton of stuff on our list we didn't even talk about just for time, really. But if there's any proof that gaming is still alive and thriving, and it's just there's a little something for everybody out there. You might have to do some digging, but good God, like for some old heads like us, with the way we've seen games back in the day and like how much variety is available now and how quickly accessible it is, It's ridiculous. There's just so many great games coming out all the time now. So I don't know. For us, we love gaming. It's always a good time for us. It's always fun for us to shoot the shit about it. But if you have any favorites you've played so far, please let us know. You can email us at legiongamingpod@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at Legion Gaming Podcast. And we're also on Blue Sky at legiongamingpod.bsky.social. God help me, I really hate saying that every single time. But I don't know if there's a way we could find us otherwise, but you can find us on Blue Sky all the same. Deucey, any final messages for our friends going up in the future of gaming?
Press start to continue.